from the left coast, it's a show for the streets, strictly for the culture, strictly for our people. YouTube reviews, log on and stream, some news you can use with your host Khrissy B. Get familiar, yeah. Get familiar. Get familiar. Get familiar. You gotta get familiar. Yeah.
Well, Kareem, thank you so much for joining me. You were very responsive when I reached out to you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
I
I think it's important for us as entertainers or influence to definitely support Black media.
Thank you.
They don't
Thank
get
you.
enough. They don't get enough praise, but also too because I've been on both sides, whether it's the Oscars or SAG or whatever. Usually, if it's somebody big, they usually walk past and go to the E-entertainment or, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's important for us to be able to connect with Black media.
Yes, definitely.
Because at the end of the day, that's who holds us up, is us.
Yes, I agree.
You know? So
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you set the precedence there, you know, and that's another reason why I was so interested in talking to you is because, of course, just as a Black woman, I wanted to connect with another Black man that I see excelling in media. I discovered you, or you know, of course, discovered who you are as an actor on, of course, All American. Myself growing up in the Crenshaw district, I went to Crenshaw High School.
I went to Dorsey, but I won't hold that against you.
Oh, excuse what?
No, I'm playing.
Oh, we got the.
I won't hold that against you.
Wait a minute!
You know,
all my Crenshaw people already know it's about to be some tension in here.
I mean, I have family and friends
cool,
that went to Crenshaw, so you know it is what it is. But,
Dorsey,
you know,
come on now.
I'll say this:
come on now.
We were really good at football when I was coming up, and you guys definitely had basketball. And
we had basketball and football too, though.
You guys had football in the 2000s.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for
80s,
Thank you for clearing that up.
90s.
Yeah, I'll see. That's a little bit before me.
80s and 90s, it was Dorsey. That's a fact.
Okay, well, you know what?
But I won't hold that against you. It's all good.
Crenshaw Cougar for life, you know what I'm saying? I read that blue and gold. You already know what it is, you know what I'm saying? All my people, you know, this is the Dorsey down here.
Yeah.
We won't hold that against him. Okay?
DDP.
But you know, we all still in the same community. That's the vicinity. It's still the same neighborhood.
Absolutely.
You know, I have a bunch of homies that went to Dorsey. That I love, that I support, that I'm still friends with to this day. So shout out to Dorsey, Crenshaw. You know what it is if you grew up in the district.
Yeah,
for sure.
A lot of great people came out of both schools.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah, and then they're both still standing. You know, going to Crenshaw for me was very interesting. I went there from '99 to 2003.
Okay.
And during that time, you know, it was a lifestyle. It was a lot of, you know, even being a female, a woman, I still experienced a lot and saw a lot, and you know, was in the middle of a lot.
Yeah.
But I was able to kind of still come out. Still came out educated. I went to college. I was a part of everything that Crenshaw had to offer. You know, with clubs, I ran track. I was a cheerleader, so I was still involved. Yeah. And then as an adult, I still, you know, go back to the school. I'm always trying to be a part of and, you know, dive into whatever I can to still make sure I'm hands-on in my community and in my neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mean, me, I got bused. I went to Palisades.
Okay.
And then the second half of the school year, I transferred to Dorsey. But I think, you know, Dorsey, even though, you know, South Central, I think it definitely gave me a upper hand. As far as just, you know, dealing with people, you know, because we had a couple of whites, and when I mean a couple, like literally a couple, but you know, just the black and brown experience was beautiful, and you know, I'm still friends with people that, you know, I've graduated from high school to this day. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
And you're born and raised in Englewood? Or?
Yeah, Englewood, California, 99th and Crenshaw.
Okay, know exactly where that is.
I guess you would call that the bottom because it's literally like the bottom. Born and raised there. Grew up in Leimert Park area and been in Baldwin Hills.
Landmarks. Love it.
Yeah, in Baldwin Hills for the past 18 plus years. So definitely, you know,
so you're super rooted.
When people say like you from LA, like I'm also from Englewood.
Yeah.
But definitely true LA through and through.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah.
So you upbringing, born and raised Englewood. So you said you were bused to Palisades?
Yeah, so I was bused.
Got it. When you were living in Englewood?
Yeah. Well, no, this is outside of Englewood. I was at Crescent Heights Elementary. I did a tour duty for some reason. I don't know. I went to a magnet school. I went to Hillcrest Magnet. I went to 42nd Street, Hillcrest Magnet, Crescent Heights, Paul Revere for junior high, and then Dorsey. No, Paul Revere, Palisades, then Dorsey. So, but I finished up at Dorsey.
Got it.
So yeah.
And what about college? Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to Cal State LA.
Okay.
So I ended up staying here to pursue my career. I got accepted to Tuskegee, but I didn't go because for some reason, I literally felt like I needed to be here to still pursue my career. And I felt like if I went out of state, I would be missing out. So I've never taken a break.
Yeah. So what age did this like completely start for you?
12, 13.
Because I had to go back, and when I was like just kind of reading and I was going back, I did not know at all that you played in Boyz n the Hood. Yeah. And I think everybody had to kind of go back to kind of, once they kind of discovered you like now, everybody had to go back and see that you played. And that was in 1991. I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that film is now over 30 years old.
Yep.
Yeah, it's officially over 30 years old. So that stamps you as officially being in the game for over 30 years old.
Yeah,
for over 30 years.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting now because of this show All American, how people's like, oh, this is a breakout, or this is my first time. But yeah, that's just part of the game, and that's just part of it when people haven't seen you. And some people be like, oh, well, I've seen them on certain things, but I think this show pretty much has probably given me the biggest, I guess, fanfare, recognition, the whole nine. So, but yeah, people usually be like, oh, I had to go back and see like, oh, this is not your first rodeo.
Exactly.
You've been around for a while. So yeah, it's cool.
You seem very seasoned. I mean, like when I watch you on All American, you're very, very seasoned. You don't, but the cast and the other actors on this show, I think you guys really have a good chemistry. Yeah, it picks up really, really well.
Yeah. Everybody shows up for work. Like that's the beauty about it, is that the ensemble is like solid. Like everybody is solid. Like there's no weakling whatsoever. So I think every time you show up to work, you're always being challenged, and you just rise to the occasion because the people that you're acting opposite of it, they're gonna bring it every single
absolutely.
take. So.
But even before All American, so you had some roles in SWAT. You had a part in Baby Boy, and then now there's another series that you're part of, is For the Love of Jason. Yeah. Okay, and that's on season 2.
Yeah, so we just got a season 2, so we'll hopefully start shooting in November.
Dope. Okay.
And so hopefully by 2022, you guys will start seeing that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And then kind of dive into your character on. So we know Preach, obviously from All American. So kind of dive into your character on For the Love of Jason.
Eric, totally opposite. Went to school with Jason. He's the married one out of the group. So he's experiencing being a newlywed, also transitioning into a new job as a principal.
Completely opposite roles.
Yeah. So he's dealing with that, and his wife, and wanting to provide, but also being the voice of reason for Jason, but also taking his own advice. As he's saying, hey, this is what you need to do. Yeah. With him really fighting. Yeah. With his own situation. So it'll be interesting to go into the second season and see what Eric is experiencing with being a newlywed and also becoming a principal.
How hard is it for you to kind of, I guess that's a part of the job, you're an actor, but how hard is it basically to kind of go from role to role, especially when they're complete opposite? When you have to kind of turn, when you've been Preach or a certain character for so long, now you got to turn that completely off, and now you're somebody completely different.
It's easy. I think it's different because I think what you guys see is like, oh, he's on Mondays, and then I can go here on All Black and see him in a different thing. But there's literally like a huge gap
So you have time to prepare.
Yeah, it's literally, and then just, you know, being in this business for the time that I have, you tend to get to a point where, you know, you love what you do. Mm-hmm. When you get the call, it's time to work. You know, the mindset going into what it is. Yeah. You know, so it's never like, I got to get this priest character out. It's like, okay, this is what it is. I'm Eric, and I'm ready to go. Yeah. So it's not tough. It probably can be tough if it was like, you know, literally like I shoot this week and then next week. But I think still as an actor, you train and prepare for situations like that. Yeah,
that's dope. Yeah. So how has it been? I kind of wanted to also just kind of dive into a little bit of your business. So as far as, you know, being a Black actor, I'm very kind of curious too, especially I know last year we were really locked down, we're in quarantine. I feel like we're kind of slowly now coming out of the whole pandemic. Yeah. But you were even still working, you were still dropping content, you were still being very creative during that time, which was dope. You still were giving us something to look at all the time. Yeah. I mean, you gave us quarantine fits, you know what I'm saying? You were giving us skits. Yeah. You were still staying very, very busy. But on a personal note, mentally, how was it for you? You know, a lot of people really don't know how to sit by themselves or be sheltered in, or, you know, somebody that's been so super busy, you know, prior to, you know, how was that time for you mentally?
You know what, for me, because before quarantine, I was literally hustling. Like I was working maybe 2 jobs, still shooting All American, auditioning. You know, so for me, it gave me a time of just chill. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can relax. Yeah. So I wasn't going crazy like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, I think once we went into it, my whole attitude was it was always just being level-headed, and always seeing the silver lining. Yeah. And not panicking, because each and every day I woke up, I was like, all right, well, I'm alive. I'm good. I got another chance at it. So for me, it wasn't as crazy as everybody said it was. It definitely gave me time to really just chill, relax, do content, you know, take care of things that I had put off. Yeah. And really just have that time to just kind of really write my goals down. Nice. And really like plan and plot. Yeah. Like, all right, once we come out of this is what I need to do. So
has everything picked up for you now?
Oh yeah. I mean, to be honest, things started picking up in July.
Got it. Last year. Okay, so that's still in the midst of the pandemic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been going since July. So it was never too much of a long break for me. Because once it was go time, I was like, all right, try to live and be as normal as possible through this pandemic. Yeah. But still being, you know, careful at the same time. Yeah. So
did you know anybody that caught, you know, COVID?
Oh yeah. I've known a lot of people. I mean, I had it. Same. I think I had it for like 6 days. Yeah.
You had symptoms?
Yeah, I had little symptoms. I think the only thing for me was really taste and smell. Okay. But through it all, I was like working out. Like I was, you know, late at night jogging. Yeah. Working out in the backyard. Yeah. Just really pumping myself with like herbs and vitamins.
You gotta keep your immune system boosted.
Drinking plenty of water. So for me, like I think I beat it in like 6 days.
That's great.
But I didn't have like the severe like, oh, I can't breathe or nothing like that. And I think I had like a little body ache. Other than that was smell and taste. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about, you know, especially?
But I have had people that passed away.
Same, yeah.
People that had it, you know. So it was sad, really sad that as far as just this whole pandemic and people that I've known had passed away from it. So
yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it just kind of all threw us left a little bit. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. Yeah, yeah. And it just took off. You know, we were losing people left and right, and they're shutting us down completely. You know, people were losing businesses, jobs, their lives. It just hit us really quickly. Now, how do you feel about like being vaccinated, or you know, do you plan on being vaccinated, or you know,
that's a good question.
You know, a lot of us, and I would say us as Black people, we're very apprehensive of getting the vaccine. And you know,
it's the thing for me is that I go by the history of this country and what it has done to Black people, Black and brown people.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very cautious about putting myself. I'm gonna take the vaccine.
Running quick to do it.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. You don't buy if something is new that just came out for the first time, you just don't go out there and buy it. You know, you definitely do your research, or you wait for the second, third, or fourth version of it.
And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not gonna do this first round. Maybe not the second. Let me hit it on when it's like 3 or 4 down the line.
Absolutely. But I know. I'll say this, and I can only speak for me, because I take care of myself. You know, for me, you know, I go by the old school of just, you know, taking the right herbs, watching what I eat, making sure, you know, I eat alkaline foods and stay away from dairy, which creates mucus, which, you know what I'm saying? So for me, that's how I go about it. So, you know, I'll wait. I'll wait.
Period.
I'll wait. You know.
Yeah, I think I'm 100% with you on that, and I feel like I'm being pressured, of course, because I do. You know, I do work in the field, and you know, I have a kid now. That's that whole trying to like figure out if the kid's gonna be vaccinated to go back to school and all of that. Yeah. So
I think for people who are the elderly, yes, and people who have underlying conditions, absolutely. Because elderly and underlying conditions pretty much were the ones who were being taken out by COVID. Yeah. So, I mean, absolutely. But I think, you know, those who kind of really take care of themselves and...
Do you have a specific herb you like?
Oh, yeah. There's plenty. Black seed oil. I always take black seed oil, a teaspoon of that, turmeric.
Turmeric is good.
Elderberry, ashwagandha, maca.
Those are all good.
Those are and what else?
Not like we chlorophyll. Have the alkaline too, drinking alkaline and alkaline foods. Yeah. That's important.
Chlorophyll. Definitely drink chlorophyll every morning. So that's kind of like my that's my routine.
That's great. Yeah, you keeping that immune system boosted for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, again, now that things are kind of picking up for you, another thing I was kind of interested in talking to you about is going back to being Black. You know what it is? Being Black in Hollywood, I would say. You know, I know, of course, you got your start. We're gonna say 30 years ago, because that's kind of when you had your original role in Boyz in the Hood. And how has it been challenging? Because I know, of course, I'm surrounded by so many that want to break into it. Yeah, having a hard time. You know, certain roles are going to certain others. You know, everybody feel like it's race driven. A lot of people feel like it's race driven. I kind of want to get some insight from you on how has your personal experience been being Black in Hollywood. And a lot of your roles too have been surrounded by predominantly all Black cast members too, which I feel like may make a difference for you. But I'm sure too, second part of this is like eventually, what do you see for yourself overall as far as the kind of roles that you want to play? So I hear some people saying, well, I just don't want to be, you know, all Black films. I want to be able to work with, you know, some of the top.
I think, I mean, for me, my career has definitely shown that. I think, you know,
versatility.
I've been on pretty much all the major networks. You know, I acted alongside Black, white, Asian, Indian, Hispanic. So when you look at my body of work, it's not just that. My body of work is very diverse. I mean, even All American. I mean, it's a diverse cast. You know, so for me, being it's definitely different from when I was coming up, because they were only letting a handful in, and either you had roles that were either the gangbanger, the pimp, the
Yeah.
hustler, or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think now, probably within the last maybe 6-10 years, it's changed because of opportunities of writers and directors such as, you know, Issa.
Yes. Shout out to Issa. Yes.
You
Ava,
know,
Issa.
Steve McQueen. You know, just a plethora of writers and directors and execs. Charles King with Macro and you know, Ryan Coogler. Now we have stories. Our stories are being told that, you know, didn't get the opportunity back when I was coming up. So it's gotten a lot better, and it's getting better.
Yeah, I agree.
I think now I always get this question, well, you know, how can I get into the business? And, you know, with just computers and the digital age, there's no excuse. When I was coming up, it was the Dewey Decimal System. It was literally going to the library, Rolodex card, go to and find a book. I think now it's literally, if you want to know anything, it's how do I become?
Exactly.
What's the first step of becoming an actor? Like literally, you can Google it or you can YouTube it and go from there and do your research, and then that will lead you to somewhere, to another link, to another link, to another link. So that's what I usually tell young people, like,
all the resources are there.
The resources are there.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, it was either go to a bookstore, you know, you can now go to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. It's
and
there for you.
You can really create your own platform on Instagram.
You can create
crazy
your own platform.
I
usually tell people
so many people have grown and have discovered and became so big just strictly on Instagram by itself.
Yeah. But we have to be careful with that because
elaborate.
Because I've been vocal about it. Is that's cool to be on Instagram and make people laugh and the whole nine, but it's about holding a scene. Being able to be in a scene and hold that, and being able to be in character. So don't get the two confused. You know, what I mean by is Instagram and social media and Vine and all that other stuff. I put in the work. You know, I took classes. I still, you know, whenever I can, get in there and get down and learn the craft. And I think we've gotten away from that to where it's just like, oh, I'm going to do something ignorant and stupid so I can go viral and then get my opportunity. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'll put it out there. You put me up against any Instagram, Vine person in a scene and I'm going to kill you. Bottom line. Bar for bar, scene for scene, I am going to get with you. You're not going to be able to get with me, and I can say that. So, you know, that's cool and dandy and all that, but when it comes to doing that work and really getting into character, I'm a body you. And you're just going to see it on screen.
But then that goes back to you saying that you did the work, you put the work, you went to school, you did the classes, you read books, you really took the time and studied and learned your craft.
Absolutely, you know. So we have to be careful about that social media. Like, that's cool, but, you know, even if it's not me, you get with somebody who's seasoned and they will eat you alive. And you will be embarrassed. You know, and you have to rethink, like, well, maybe I need to, you know, just because I got 100,000 likes and people think I'm funny, that doesn't translate to film. That doesn't translate to TV. Because TV, there's a formula. There's beats. And some people are just going off of, oh, I'm funny, I'm gonna say this. You know, so, and a lot of people don't know that there's beats in half hour. You know what I'm saying?
Never would have known.
So you gotta know that. You know? So I think that's what we need to, you know, really understand. And you know, and that's just how I feel. And, you know, if anybody got a problem, come see me.
So with the Instagram content, what do you think is the best way? Because I do agree with you. I'm kind of tired of people thinking they trying to get a quick moment. Let me go in here, be stupid, be ignorant, do something stupid. I mean, you see people get hurt all the time and it goes left so quick because they're trying to get a quick follow or a quick play. And it goes left. I mean, like, what's your sound advice, obviously outside of, you know, studying your craft, for people that just kind of want to, I mean, is there a way around it? You
Yeah,
know?
I think it's how you want to brand yourself. If you want to be branded ignorant and buffoonish and foolery, then that's what you're doing.
Right.
That's how I'm gonna look at you.
Yeah.
It's what Drake says in Lemon Pepper. You know, nowadays you got to find out what you do for a living. Just because you on Instagram and you got 100 million followers,
right?
But what do you do?
What
though?
do you do? Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. What does that translate to? You know, so you know, it's about branding. I think, you know, you have to be careful. There's a right way to use social media. You can definitely use, if you have a big platform, if you're, you know, into social justice, you know, if you're, you know, into health and fitness. You know, if you're an actor, I say, you know, well, if I was to go to your Instagram page, what would it tell me about you? Usually that stumps people because they're like, are you busting it wide open, or do you want to be an actor? Like, which one?
Pick
is
your
it?
poison.
Pick your poison.
Yeah,
because if
you can't bust it wide open. Yeah,
then that's what it is.
That's what it is.
You know,
and don't get mad when you get approached.
Don't get mad when your DMs will be like, yo, what's up?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're putting it out there.
Right.
But if you're an actor, then, you know, put up content that represents that.
And bust it wide open behind all of that. You don't have to put that on social media. Just bust it wide open on your own time.
You know what I'm saying? So you can't be mad at the response and the messages that you get, because that's what is constantly being you know, thrown and put on social media. So you can't be mad.
That's some great insight. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
That's some great insight.
So I think I always say, well, how do you want to brand yourself, and what does your social media page say about you?
Yeah.
What does that say about your brand?
Yeah.
And then go from there, you know, and that gets people to thinking like, hey, well, maybe I need to change some things up. You know, if you smoking and drinking and acting ignorant and, you know, got a stack of money as a phone, then what does that say about you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because once you put it out there, it's out there.
Yeah, it is.
And then that translates to jobs. Because now they're looking at that. And especially in my business, if you're on a TV show, you got to be careful. Especially if it's a big TV, or if it's a network.
What you're putting out there.
What you're putting out there, because if you're putting out this type of content, then the network has to look back and say, do we really want to associate ourselves with this kind of brand? You know, now you're messing with your money.
Yep.
You know, I don't think people see that. They think about, well, I have the followers.
Yeah.
And the followers are cool, but does that translate to money?
Right.
I know a lot of people with 100,000, $1 million, but they ain't got $1 million in the bank.
Right. Right. That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it has to be
has to make sense.
What is it gonna be? You know, you don't see Michael B. Jordan's Instagram, you know, clowning and doing crazy stuff.
He's very professional.
Very
Whatever he's
professional.
doing, we don't see it. Yeah.
And what he's doing, he's either promoting a brand or in, you know, partnership with a brand. So, you know, I always tell people, you know, find somebody that you like and look at their Instagram, or look at how they, you know,
they're branding themselves.
They're branding themselves, because that says a lot about that person, but it says a lot about what you want to do. You know, so for me, you know, you'll never see anything crazy on my Instagram.
I love that. Do you have any children?
No, I don't. I have a niece and a nephew.
Okay, it's the same.
Yeah. I have a niece and a nephew.
Your hands-on uncle?
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah,
whenever I'm able to see them. But yeah, when I do, I love on them as much as I can.
Do you want children?
You know, I'm
you know, you open.
I'm open.
Yeah,
I'm open.
Dope.
I'm open.
I love it. Yeah. Any roles that you haven't played that you want to play? You know, what's the overall big picture for Kareem, like his dream role? If you haven't already played your dream role,
I know, right? I think this opportunity that I have is a dream role, because I think Preach was one way, but through the evolution, you're seeing these different layers of him, to where he can be very serious, he can be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, this definitely is a dream role. I think anything that deals with comedy and drama.
Okay.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because I think that shows versatility.
And I really did not know you had like a comedy side.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like going back. I was like, first of all, you was in your sweats. You was doing your little 1-2.
Yeah.
I mean, you had a whole different side to you that I never would have known.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's just from me watching on certain shows and series and stuff like that. But yeah, I can see you tapping into the whole comedy side for real.
Yeah.
And that's really kind of, it kind of almost embodies who you probably are, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're really like a funny guy. You have personality. Probably when you step into the room, probably the life of the party.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, to me, comedy, it comes pretty easy. And if you look back at some of the stuff I've done, it's definitely comedy driven.
Yeah.
I think now because of this show, it's so serious and dramatic. But deep down, like I love comedy.
That's dope.
Love comedy. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, I'm really glad, that we kind of had this conversation. It was very, very nice, talking to you, getting some insight. I feel like we have a lot of gems to share to the people. I hope y'all really, really listen to this man, take some notes. And I just want to really quickly, we've have lost so many people in media, in music, and I just kind of want to, just say, rest in peace to DMX, to Shock G. We lost them in the past month.
Within a couple of weeks, actually.
Black Rob, within a couple of weeks apart. And, for me personally, they were all a part of my era that I grew up in. I know how my mama feels now when Luther passed and when certain, icons from her generation passed, because, Tupac and Biggie, of course, Biggie's my favorite rapper, but they were just a little bit before my generation. But Nipsey, Shock G, DMX, Black Rob, they're all a part of my core generation. So I was completely affected by their deaths, and paying much, uplifting their family in prayer and light, and blessings, sending blessings and light to their families. And I just had to, put that out there, because it's definitely something that's been weighing so heavy on my spirit, that we've been losing so many of our, icons, and so many black men in media and music at a rapid pace, and so young.
Unfortunately, it's I think it's just like what you said. It's just like I remember coming up and my mom, people passing away. I remember Marvin Gaye being shot, and my mom being very devastated and sad about that. And it's unfortunate, but I think it happens every generation. So I think when they are alive, we have to recognize and definitely, give them their flowers,
give them their flowers,
their garden, and really, really just be happy and really enjoy them while they're here. Because once they're gone, I mean, they leave a legacy of music, but as far as really, appreciating them when they're alive, I think that's the most important.
I agree completely. And again, just many, prayers and sending blessings, light, love, and to the families of, DMX, Black Rob, Shock G, and so many prior to them. But again, we just lost them in a matter of weeks apart. But again, thank you so much for joining me. This was great. This was great. I learned a lot about you, and now I have some insight, on how to brand my social media. I'm not busting it open or nothing, but I know what to do. I know what to do. And how can we follow you on Instagram? You're Kareem Grimes.
Kareem Grimes on Instagram, Facebook. I think TikTok is Kareem Grimes, and
you have a TikTok. Cool. Okay. I didn't know.
I got a TikTok during the quarantine.
Okay.
The fans were asking.
You can really act a fool on TikTok.
It's
easy.
It is.
Are you doing the dances too? I gotta go back.
I did do a dance.
Which one? Do you remember?
I did the soldier clap.
Okay, I don't know.
Listen. I'm not here.
I'm about to go back and watch. I gotta watch that.
I actually did it a couple of days ago. So we were on set, myself, Breezy, and Greta, and we actually did the soldier clap challenge dance.
Okay.
and I posted up on my TikTok. I don't post a lot on my TikTok. I go weeks and weeks or whatever, but
TikTok, you gotta be on that thing every day.
Yeah,
I
just don't have that much. I don't have that much time, and I'm definitely.
And it takes hours for one video.
I'm definitely not savvy with the editing because it is some amazing editing going on TikTok. And I'm like, how did you guys do that?
Right.
Transitions and the whole nine. I'm like, yo, I just don't have time. But yeah, I'm on that social media platforms. But yeah.
Dope. Well, everybody follow Kareem on TikTok.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
So we can really get
get some of
that comedy, get them dances, whatever he busting on there. That's what I'm looking. That's what I want to see.
I look like somebody's old uncle. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Right, my 8-year-old daughter got it in the bag. She know how to.
8-year-olds,
all that whole.
They know it all.
Yeah.
Transitions, edits, special effects, the whole nine, dances. They know it all.
Right,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? This was fun. Thanks again, and we are out until next time. Peace.
You can use with your host Khrissy B. Get familiar. Yeah. Get familiar. Get familiar. Get familiar. You gotta get familiar. Yeah.